Hey everyone, welcome back to the AstoundCast, episode 53, part 1, because I'm doing part 2 tomorrow, talking about all the other stuff I'm doing, usually because, as you can hear, we have the after credit scene, aka Rodney, with us to discuss Thor, Love and Thunder and Miss Marvel.
What's up?
Hey, my man, how's it going?
Things are going good, man.
Good. Right, how has people's weeks been to start with?
My week's been pretty good, man. I've been, in between Marvel stuff and shows and stuff, I'm finishing up my summer with work stuff, and so I haven't posted anything new. But other than that, just been enjoying all the stuff I'm hearing coming out of ComiCon. That's been a lot of fun.
Oh, same. That's amazing. Well, on our side of the pond, we've been melting badly.
I've heard.
Yeah. Yeah. On Monday and Tuesday, I think the UK was pushing about 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
Just about.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we had about a week and a half where that was every day.
Yeah. We had
high 90s
about
is normal
a week and
down
a half.
here.
We had about a week and a half of very high temperatures, but Monday and Tuesday were by far the worst. Like,
wow.
To put it in perspective, there were airport runways melting and train tracks exploding.
Jeez.
Yeah, London had the worst of it. Like, at one point, there was 15 houses that went on fire in the same area of London.
Wow.
It was bad. But thankfully, the rain has come and basically brought us back to normal temperatures. Whew.
Good. Yeah, the over here when it starts getting that hot, it's humid too, and so it stays right on the cusp of raining almost every day, and it'll get hot, and then it'll rain for 20 or 30 minutes, and then it's steamy and muggy and hot. And then it takes a couple of days of that before it kind of breaks. And so the last day or two has been pretty good, but luckily we've got enough pools and water slides and all kinds of stuff to keep us cool.
I mean, Roxanne, because you live pretty close to me, it was raining for like an hour on Friday night, wasn't it? Or just over an hour?
It was raining pretty heavily for an hour on the Friday, and then Saturday was also just on and off heavy rain.
Yeah.
So since the last time, switching gears just a little bit, since the last time I talked to you guys, there's a documentary coming out about y'all's town and about your soccer team.
Yeah.
I was like, I know
that
people
is happening.
There.
Are you ready for some irony, however?
Yeah.
It may not be available in the UK.
That's funny.
Yeah, FX, the streaming site that it's coming out on, I don't think is in the UK.
That's
I know.
Really funny.
Yep, that's really bad. Yeah. And something that I think was linked to that, well, last year in the summer, there was a Hollywood-style Wrexham sign.
Yeah.
Just appeared out of nowhere and disappeared just as quickly.
Huh.
So it probably was involved in that somehow.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was really weird. It literally came up overnight, and then about 2 weeks later, gone.
It was gone.
Literally, it showed up, stayed there for 2 weeks, refused to elaborate, left.
It'll be funny if that's actually in the documentary and they play it off like it's part of the town or part of the stadium, and knowing full well like it's not.
It's got to be.
That's going to be interesting. I may have to
Definitely.
watch it when it comes out and just send you updates, screenshots and stuff.
Please do.
Oh yeah.
Either that or just stream it for how long it is.
Oh, that would be
Yeah.
funny.
I hope it's available in the UK because I just want to watch that.
So tell me what you thought about Miss Marvel, man.
Miss Marvel. I'm not gonna lie, it was good. I really liked it. I had trouble with some parts, like did you end up watching my videos on it, or did we do what we've done last time?
I think I watched maybe one of them early on.
Yeah.
And then I didn't. My summer with me is crazy difficult, and so I actually cut out a few of the videos I normally make. I didn't do Easter egg videos for this one because I was too busy.
No,
So,
you didn't. Yeah. But the one thing that I was hesitant about them doing, and by the end it obviously came true, was the fact that Miss Marvel only appeared at the very end.
Yeah.
I was like, please don't do that, please don't do that, please don't do that. Then they did, but thankfully, they did it really well.
They did. They really did. I didn't think. I was glad that and I kept saying it in my prediction videos, was that the show has that people needed to watch out for different threads because it had a lot of heavy lifting to do in terms of the fact that you're doing an origin story, but you're also introducing a whole new culture into the show and also having to prepare it for a movie that's coming too. So it can't be so standalone and so unique that people are lost when she pops up on the screen, but it can't be so generic that you don't get anything out of it. And I really thought they towed that line really well. My only critique, so in that vein, I was glad that they didn't have any major cameos until like right at the end like that. My only big critique with it was actually that they didn't do more of the like cartoony animation stuff that they started out the series with.
It did kind of fade out throughout the show.
It did. There was a lot of it at the beginning. The very first episode had a ton of it.
Oh yeah.
And then like 2, 3, and 4 didn't have nearly as much.
And then 5 and 6 was
and
near
they kind
enough
of picked
none.
back up. Yeah, and episode 6, whenever she's given the plan, she's talking about the plan. They kind of went back to it a little bit, but they just didn't. I don't know. I thought that was one of the things that made it really unique and really tied you to Kamala, and they got away from it pretty quick,
which was kind of disappointing to me.
Yeah, and so that's why, like, when I ranked my episodes, the middle episodes are some of my least favorite because they didn't have any of those things in them.
Yeah, those middle 3 episodes for me weren't my favorites. I would say, honestly, my top 3 would have to be 1, 5, 6.
Yeah, I actually liked. Normally, I'm not like, oh, the finale was the best episode. Most of the series that I've rated, but actually, I liked episode 6 the best. Just because the way it actually did tie everything together. And it was the first time in the series that I really noticed one of the threads that they had been pulling at all series long, which was, and I was glad they did it this way, was that one of the threads in that show was heroes bring people together. And it fit with the family metaphor. It fit with all the other stuff. But that the Muslim community got behind her, the police got behind her, that they, it crossed barriers and it broke down walls and, stuff like that, rather than, it's her against the world type thing, which they do a lot. And so there wasn't any of that. That's why I liked episode 6 a lot, because it had a good thread and it wrapped it up really well. And the end credit scenes were really good. And then I liked episode 5 just because of the big flashback to
that was amazing.
pre-partition India. That was really cool.
Yeah.
It was just different, and I love it when they do different stuff. And then episode 1. So yeah, our top 3 are, we have the same top 3. They're just kind of in a different order. But after that, I did like episode 4 just because it was in Karachi. But but episode 3 and episode 2 were my least favorites. And the only reason episode 3 is not the last episode is because I loved the fight scene in at the wedding, and I love the wedding dance.
Oh yeah,
like just all of that
wedding
was
scene
really
was
cool.
amazing.
It was a really cool backdrop for everything.
Yeah,
but
honestly, the wedding sequence was one of my favorite parts of the whole show.
It was cool. I was glad that, and I went into it. I read some comic books about halfway through, but the only thing I knew about Kamala going in was what her powers were and that she was Muslim. But beyond that, I didn't know, and she was an Inhuman. Beyond that, I didn't know anything else. And I really was relying on Marvel to introduce me to the world, and that's kind of how I judged whether or not the series was good. And I really thought they came through. I mean, she felt different, but she felt like she had her own place. And the story did not feel forced.
No.
And I know a bunch of people. I didn't think it deserved a lot of the hate that it got. And any of the hate that it did get, I thought was just people that were just ignorant or naive about the story or about the character or stuff like that. And once I started reading the comic books, a lot of the shots from the show and a lot of the things that they did were just pulled straight from the comic book pages. So
yeah,
that was really, really cool.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Roxanne, did you watch it?
Afraid not, but I've been watching through both of your overviews and reviews on it. So
we got to get you Disney Plus, Roxanne.
Yep.
we've been talking about it. We got to do it. It's got to happen.
Yeah. Hell, what I could do is get an account set up, like a sub account on my account.
That's what you need to do right there.
Yeah.
That way, because they won't flag you guys if you're in the same town. If she starts popping up on my account, Disney's gonna ban one of us.
Yeah. But yeah, I could just set you up on my account.
That's what you got to do. Cam's got
you. I don't know why I haven't thought about this sooner.
I mean, to be fair, it's not really your job to get it, but I am very appreciative.
Oh no, we owe it to you now. You got to you've been here for all of this. You got to get caught up. You're in.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it. I've spoiled enough inadvertently.
Yeah.
You're spoiled enough whether I've edited your videos or not.
Yeah. But honestly, Miss Marvel, really good.
Where did you think it ranked with regard to the other shows?
Oh, that is a good question. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't really thought about that because there hasn't been really anything kind of, well, I'm trying to think of where it would be because it was a very different show to all the others as well.
Yep.
So, I don't know.
Because it's not as... Go for it. It's not as unique as some of the others, but...
No.
It has the added advantage of being a new character. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, so what? There's been... Let's see. There's been Falcon and Winter Soldier, WandaVision, What If, Loki, Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, and am I missing any?
Give me a second. Hawkeye.
And Hawkeye. So there's been 7 or 6 or 7.
Wait.
Maybe 8. WandaVision, What If, Miss Marvel, Moon Knight, Loki, Hawkeye.
6.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
7.
That's 7.
I'd place this one in the slap bang in the middle, number 4.
Yeah, I'd probably put it. It's definitely in my top 5. I'd put it 3 or 4. It's competing with Hawkeye for me.
Yeah,
top 3. So it's either 3 or 4. Because to me, I mean, Moon Knight is my new number 1. And Loki is a close second.
Yeah.
And then Hawkeye and Miss Marvel are competing for me because Hawkeye was great, but it didn't feel very unique either, except for the fact that it introduced some new characters. But it was well written and it was a good story, and it didn't really have a lull to it. This one didn't really have a lull to it either. I thought the story moved pretty fast, but compared to, I think the newness of it, and the more comedy laden and family laden aspects of it gave it a little bit of a kiddie feel to it, and not in a bad way necessarily, but just for me personally watching it, there were parts that could have been a little cheesy, that normally in another serious series would have been played as like a campy tongue-in-cheek joke, which is I think why some people didn't like it. The best comparison I heard was some people thought it was too much like an old Disney Channel kids show.
Oh God,
which didn't necessarily bother me. I was like, well, yeah, I can see that, but it was that, but it was set in the Marvel universe, so it was still fun and it was still good. That complaint, coupled with the fact that people didn't like her powers being changed,
well, they weren't, I think really.
They're gonna. I mean, it's the same powers. It's just how they look. And they describe them different. But I was kind of glad that they did that because it makes it less redundant when you start introducing Reed Richards later on, and all of a sudden their powers look similar, and it's like, okay, well, why do you need 2 of them? And it gives them some more differences other than just, well, she's Muslim and he's smart. Like they needed to have some more differences, and I was glad that they tied it to some other cultural things, and they tied it to some other mythology. It gave it a little more depth. Did you like that they strayed away from the Inhumans thing?
Yes, absolutely. Because of where they strayed to.
Yeah. I like, and a lot of people were saying, and I even said it in one of my videos. I was like, it doesn't matter too much. You know, it's exciting that they use the word mutation, but it doesn't mean too much that they said mutation, because and even Kamala kind of dismisses it. She goes, well, it doesn't matter what you call me. It's just another label. Like, I think that would be an interesting storyline for Marvel to approach, is the rest of the world deciding what to call them. Are you a mutant? Are you an Inhuman? Are you, and then these different classes of like, well, are you a superhero? Are you an Inhuman? Are you a mutant? Are you a, I think the cultural and political aspects of that are going to be really cool for Marvel to explore.
But I think you're right with the whole being the word mutation not mean anything, but it was the music that accompanied that could very much mean something.
Cool. That was cool.
Because they did include a brief second or two of the X-Men 97 theme.
They're getting some play out of that because they did it in Doctor Strange.
Yeah, which tells me 2 things. One, Kamala could be a member of the X-Men in the MCU.
That would be cool.
That would be amazing. And it also tells me that that theme could very well be the MCU X-Men theme.
I think that's what they're doing with it.
I would love that.
That would be awesome.
I would be so happy because you really cannot change that. Especially with X-Men 97. Yeah.
It's already recognizable. It's I mean, it's great. It just works really well. It was a smart move.
Yeah. And have I ever told you the theory about film theory's theory about what's going to happen at the end of X-Men 97?
Oh, no, go for it.
Well, his theory is, when X-Men originally entered back in the 90s, there was a comic series that continued on the story.
Yeah.
And at the end, the Dweller of Darkness, who appeared in Shang-Chi, destroyed the universe and it got rebooted.
Oh, yeah, you told me that.
Yeah, and Matt Pat theorizes that when X-Men 97 ends, it'll be rebooted into the MCU, which would explain the X-Men 97 theme being the X-Men MCU theme.
Oh, that would be cool. So you think they're going to add some stuff to the show and add that in and kind of fold it in somehow?
Well, a couple of days ago, I made a very, very, very early prediction / theory for X-Men 97. An Avengers crossover.
Well, that would be cool.
Because there was an Avengers cartoon in the 90s as well, set in the same timeline.
Yep. I forgot.
Because all those cartoons in the 90s were in the same timeline.
Yeah, because they would. Yeah. Yep, you're totally right.
Yeah. So I think that could happen, and they may throw in some MCU-ish elements to them. I don't quite know how that's going to work, but it's Marvel. They'll figure it out.
Oh, yeah. Now, talking about theories and predictions and stuff, I was rather pleased with myself during episode 4 of Miss Marvel, whenever she meets the Red Daggers, and he's showing her a map of what the Noor dimension looks like set on top of Earth. And he shows her that map and says, this is what the other dimension looks like, that it's been mapped out. Every time they talk about the other dimensions or multiverses or time travel or anything like that, so far, the multiverse video I made where I liken realities, multiverses, and time travel to a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Every time they talk about something, my theory has not proven wrong yet. And so they showed those two maps, and it was basically, you might as well have made one of those maps peanut butter and the other map jelly, because it was exactly what I described. I was really pleased with myself. I was like, hey, it still holds up. That's great. But the one thing that in that same scene that we're talking about theories, that dawned on me, and I went back and started looking at the other series the stuff that they've been putting together in Phase 4. A lot of people have complained about, well, it's just not the same after Endgame, and it doesn't really look like they're going anywhere, and they're just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks and blah, 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 blah. I kept reminding people anytime I could do it without sounding like a jerk was, they started out the Marvel Universe without really knowing where they were going. And they started putting it together hoping that they could get to the first Avengers movie, but not really knowing if they could. And once they did, then they started taking it really, really seriously. And if you don't think that they're putting stuff together even more detailed now, then you're out of your mind. And it wasn't until that Miss Marvel episode that I forget what they said. It was some line that I went, oh, and I went and looked back, and this Comic-Con stuff just reaffirmed it. And I wish I have a video out there somewhere. I'll have to pinpoint it. I think it was after episode 4, after episode 5, but I told my wife, I said they are leading towards a Secret Wars movie, and they're gonna overlap it with some of this Kang stuff, because they already but everything that they've done so far, in some way, shape, or form, whether it's a different universe or whether it's a group of people, everything in Phase 4 has to do with something that has been hidden, that operates in the shadows, right?
Yep.
So Shang-Chi is about the Ten Rings and that organization that's a hidden organization that operates in the shadows. They also talked about an alternate dimension that nobody knew about, that operates in a different, there's a hidden dimension, there's a hidden group of people. Moon Knight is about Egyptian avatars that operate in secret. They walk among us. Spider-Man and Doctor Strange were both about hidden dimensions and alternate realities that every one of these shows has had some element of people that were hidden that you didn't know existed. And I'm not just saying that from a like, oh, it's a new character that Kamala Khan was a character that you didn't know existed and they're introducing her, so that's a stretch to say she was hidden. But I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about or about Kate Bishop in Hawkeye. I'm talking about the fact that Kingpin is working behind the scenes and he's been around. In Black Widow. In Black Widow, you didn't know that the Red Room and the Widows were still around.
Exactly.
And you get reintroduced to the fact that, hey, they're still around. Miss Marvel was the Jinn, the clandestines. And so you have all of these people, and then Secret Invasion is going to be all about the Skrulls, that they've been here the whole time, you just didn't know it. And then in the middle of that, you're going to have Kang and Doctor Doom and Fantastic Four introduced, and all of this Kang stuff is going to, and even Wakanda Forever is going to be about this hidden race of Aztecs or Mayans or people from Atlantis that are Namor, Atlanteans that exist that you didn't know were around, and all of that is going to coalesce into Secret Wars. And it's going to involve Kang somehow. But the fact that they're going to release both of those Avengers movies in the same year,
I know.
I guarantee you that Kang movie is not going to end well.
That's going to be a 2-part film. That's going to be Infinity War and Endgame all over again.
Yep, I think if you thought Infinity War ended bad and it hurt to watch, I bet you this Kang movie is going to suck.
This is going to be a killer.
Yep. I guarantee you, because they're giving you like 6 months between the two, which means one, they're filming them back to back. And if they're not giving you a year to sit on it,
people are going to want to know what's going to happen quick.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They know they know they're going to do something to just rip your heart out.
And people will want a quick solution. Yeah, that has me excited but terrified at the same time.
Oh yeah, but I'm excited to see. I've just been along for the ride, man. I've enjoyed the new characters and the new stories and them getting to try different types of genres. I'm excited for She-Hulk. Not just because it's going to have Daredevil in it, and he's my favorite hero ever. But that they're trying new things and they're doing different styles, and it's just fun. Like they haven't run out of steam. They haven't.
No.
And if those Comic-Con announcements weren't proof enough, they know what they're doing. And it's they show that stuff and it's, take all my money, please take all my money. Because it's going to be so much fun.
Yeah. Like, Roxanne, just for reference, yesterday there was a raft of announcements of new things coming out.
Oh, right.
Like
from Comic-Con.
Yeah, like the next 3 years will be the whole of the multiverse saga of the MCU, which is really
that's
quick.
That's what they're calling it. Yep.
Yeah. So, right. Going literally from bottom to top, we have Secret Invasion, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Echo, Loki Season 2, Blade, Ironheart, Agatha Coven of Chaos, which they've changed the title of, Captain America New World Order, so yes, Captain America 4 is a thing, Daredevil Born Again, which, yes,
Oh my
Thunderbolts.
gosh, when they announced that one, did you see how many episodes it's going to be?
Yeah, 18.
18. I mean, I'm
That is
guessing
insane.
I'm guessing they're gonna film them all together and then air them split up like 2 seasons, but just have a shorter
Probably.
break between them. That's my guess.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. They could just go boom, 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 but I think they're gonna split it up. They'd almost have to.
Yeah, absolutely. Then after Thunderbolts, we have Fantastic Four, Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, and Avengers Secret Wars. That's all the new stuff they announced.
That's a lot of stuff.
It's
yeah,
a lot
and all that's
of
coming
stuff.
out in the next, and that's coming out. Like that last thing that's coming out will be dropping at the end of 2025.
Yep.
These next 2-3 years are going to be insane.
With some of the stuff that you ended up hearing now, what do you think for both of you? What are you most excited for, and what do you think you're least excited for from that list?
Oof.
Oh, I'm most excited for Quantum Mania and Daredevil.
Yeah.
But just because, but Daredevil, I mean, I love Daredevil, so I'm really biased. But that Born Again storyline it's a whole comic series that is fantastic. They used quite a bit of it for season 3 on Netflix. So what they decide to do, with it is going to be really cool. Quantumania is going to have Kang in it. And so I'm really excited about that. But I don't know, least excited? Mainly, I don't know. I mean, maybe Echo and Agatha, just because I don't really know. It's fresh, it's new, and I don't know anything about it. So, are they telling new stories? Are they telling really obscure stories? Are they going to throw in some cameos to make it connect? I just don't know enough about it to be excited about it.
Yeah. For me, I have like a top 6 of ones I'm most excited for. I've got to be honest. Yeah. Wait, maybe it's top 7. I can't quite.
Next year's going to be
mathing,
great.
Guys. Like the math
Next
ain't
year's
mathing.
Going to be great.
Oh yeah. Right.
And
the math ain't mathing here, so I'm just going to run through them.
Yeah, go for it.
Right. Captain America: New World Order.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Spider-Man Freshman Year, which has changed in its concept by the looks of it. Because originally it was going to be Tom Holland's MCU origin story. That looks to have changed.
Yeah, especially with the way they're introducing other characters into it. That I'm holding out judgment on that to see if is it really connected to the MCU, or is it just something separate?
That's what I'm thinking. So that's what I'm definitely excited for, because for me, Spider-Man's my favorite superhero of all time, so that's an immediate win. Of course, X-Men 97, like that first look that we saw at Comic-Con. Oh my god! It looks so good.
It's gonna be good.
And that was just from stills. There wasn't any footage shown. Like, it looked as if it was literally made in 1997, but just being released now. Although I will say, Spider-Man Freshman Year did give me 60 Spider-Man vibes.
Yeah, I can see that.
Could they do that?
Well, and you saw that they already greenlit sophomore year of that, right?
Yeah, but could they be doing the 60s Spider-Man origin story.
Oh, that would be cool. And like in another universe or something?
Yeah, I would love that personally, because as much as the X-Men 90s cartoon is the most iconic X-Men, the 60s Spider-Man cartoon is the Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But my other three, of course, Fantastic Four, plus Avengers Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars.
Yeah.
Because, like, again, the prospect of 2 Avengers films in 1 year is both amazing, but oh god, that's going to be traumatizing.
Yep. And people going, oh, how are they going to top Infinity War and Endgame? They're gonna.
Oh, we're going to find out.
Yep. They're gonna.
Yeah. And hell, with it being the multiverse saga, they could do what Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness could have been. They could go nuts.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be crazy. And I wonder if, the Russos have said that that's the one movie that they would come back for. And if they did, it would be the biggest thing that has ever been done in cinema ever.
Oh, yeah. But I have heard that Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars will not have the Russo brothers involved.
Really?
Yep. Which I'm kind of sad about.
Yeah, I think they could do a good job at it. I haven't disliked anything they've done.
Oh, same. But honestly, those would be my top projects for the next couple of phases. My bottom ones, however, that's difficult because I'm looking forward to everything. There's nothing that's making me say, ugh. There's nothing making me say, ooh, do I want to watch that? I'm looking at the list right now and I'm thinking, yes, 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 yes. Yeah. Like, there is nothing I don't want to watch.
I'm more intrigued by the Agatha show than I was when it was just called House of Harkness.
Yeah, same.
I mean, I thought when I had an idea in my head of what it was going to be when they named it that, because I thought, oh, it's going to be her origin story. How did she get the dark hold and blah blah blah. And it may still be that, but it could be that now that the dark hold's gone, somehow Agatha is released from her prison that Wanda put her in. And she goes looking for Wanda and somehow finds her and trains her and nurses her back to health or something like that. Like, it could be a really, really interesting story. But again, I'm more curious about it because I don't know what it is now. But
and coming off of that, that is where they could reintroduce Quicksilver.
Yes.
Because I'm still on the train of he was a double red herring.
Yep, me too. I don't
that was
think
a double
you
fake
use
out
that character.
all the way.
I don't think you use that actor as a
as a fake out.
Yep, I don't think you use him as a fake out. I just don't.
And something that's only crossed my mind recently about.
No, go for it. Yeah, go.
Something else that's only just recently crossed my mind somehow is if he was Ralph, how would he have Quicksilver's powers?
Yeah.
He wouldn't.
And yeah, I don't think he would have powers just because Wanda thought it was him. That because he was doing things separate from her.
Yeah. And he was acting just as Quicksilver does.
Yep.
So yeah, no, there is no way that he is actually Ralph. He is definitely Peter Maximov all the way.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they do with it, because they've got a lot of pieces there that they can play with and make some really simple jumps without having to resurrect somebody from the dead or retcon something. They've kind of set some stuff out there that could be useful. So I'm excited about all of that. But tell me what you thought about Thor: Love and Thunder before our time gets away from us, man.
Yeah, I just want to very quickly say something else as well. In relation to Fantastic Four, Marvel, please, for the love of God, do not recast John Krasinski, please.
Oh, you didn't like him?
No, I did. I loved him. But there's now rumors going around that he's being recast.
Oh, don't recast him. Okay.
And I'm like,
yeah, I loved him. I thought
no.
I thought he did good, and I didn't think
I
think it'd be fine if they recast him, but I liked, even if they just did it as a fan service moment, but I thought he did a great job.
Yeah. So Marvel, please, 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 please use your brain. Do not recast this man. Please. Anyway, Thor: Love and Thunder was really good. I liked it. Not my favourite of the Thor films, but definitely the second.
So you would go Ragnarok, Love and Thunder, original Thor, Dark World.
And Dark World dead last. Yeah. It had a lot of interesting elements to it. Like, again, I don't want to spoil too much because I know Roxanne does want to go and see it. Oh, and by the way, it is not finished in cinemas.
Oh no.
No.
So the one thing that makes it, it was, my wife and I were laughing, like crying laughing through most of that movie.
Yeah.
But the one thing that pushes that one over the top for me, other than over Ragnarok, even though I'll give it to you this way. One, the reason two things push it over the top for me, why I like it better than Ragnarok. Somebody had to point out to me that Loki was not in that movie.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh yeah. I mean, like, I knew he wasn't. Obviously, I'm watching the movie. I know that Loki's gone,
but it didn't register.
It didn't bother me. Like, I enjoyed the story. But the villain,
yeah,
Christian Bale knocks that villain out of the park. He is so creepy and so good. And the battle that they have, I won't give away the location or anything, but the battle that they have where the color scheme changes.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Roxanne,
excellent.
Just saying, if you want to go watch it, we could go watch it at some point.
Yeah, as long as you're not busy, but I know you're busy for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah,
next 2-3 weeks are a bit nuts.
And have you watched Ted Lasso?
No.
Okay. So the bonus scene, the after credits scene, the mid credits one, was a character from Ted Lasso.
Oh.
And he has a little theme song in the Ted Lasso show, and my wife and I started singing that song when we saw him pop up, because we love that actor, and that was a really cool. Again, another character that is hidden and walks among us that you wouldn't know was around. That fits my Secret Wars theory. But that whole story was great. I liked here's a theory for you that, and it'll be for you to go watch it again, and for Roxanne when you go see it. I'll throw this out there and just let it melt your brain for a second. A lot of people complained about the fact that this movie felt too over the top and too silly and too goofy, and a lot of the scenes were a little disjointed or they felt weird. The trailer and the movie start off with Korg narrating it. They say it's Korg saying, "Sit down, children, and we'll tell you the story of Thor."
My!
So what if what if the reason that most of that movie seems over the top and goofy is not necessarily because Taika Waititi directed it and he's weird, but because Korg is telling the story and he's embellishing like a lot of it.
Oh my God. Yes.
Wouldn't that be awesome? I mean, like, when you watch it again, go back. I mean, like, that's why some really heartfelt scenes aren't as deep and don't last as long, because he's cutting through it with a joke and he's talking to kids about it, so it never gets really, really deep.
That'll do it.
He doesn't dwell on some of that stuff like he would have. And the only other scenes that are super scary are the ones involving gore that the kids were actually
therefore
like part of.
Yeah. That would explain my favorite part of the whole film. The goats.
Oh my gosh, those goats are amazing.
Right, Roxanne, just for a bit of context, there's literally 2 goats that just scream at random points in the film.
Oh my gosh. And you forget, and just the spots that those goats start screaming is amazing. It's so funny.
Like, can I just say, those were the best early warning system for gore.
That was so great.
Like, I wonder when Thor's going to show up.
Did you know that he that Taika Waititi wasn't gonna that it wasn't until his kids or somebody showed him the Taylor Swift video of the goat screaming to one of her songs that he thought to add that in there?
Yeah. By the way, Roxanne, those goats were inspired by Taylor Swift.
No.
Oh my God. They're in the comic books. The goats are actually in the comic books, but the fact that they scream is because he saw a meme where they're screaming goats.
The Taylor Swift goat,
that's hilarious.
The goat screaming meme. That's why, yeah.
Oh, that's clever. That is very clever.
It was
and
good.
Hilarious.
Yeah, and I thought it was cool. They use a lot of the actors use a lot of their own children in the movie.
Yeah,
that was really cool. And then the double meaning of the title of the movie.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, oh man, that's really cool. That's really really cool. It made it less cheesy for me. Because at first I was like, why don't you call it Love and Thunder? Like, that's kind of dumb. And then when you realize why they did that, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I can get on board with that.
I will admit, the Korg theory does make this film like 1,000 times better.
I know, isn't that great? It's not my theory.
Yeah.
I saw it somewhere else on TikTok, but I was like, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Also, I do just want to quickly touch on something. In regards to Ironheart, do we know who Ironheart's mentor was in the comics?
Oh, I don't.
This is going to break some hearts if it does come to pass in the MCU. Well, Tony made an AI of himself.
Oh.
Yep. You know the whole hologram Iron Man?
Yeah.
That's what, yeah.
Oh, that could be interesting, though.
Yeah. Riri Williams' mentor was Iron Man.
That'll be interesting, especially if they decide to use that. Along that same line, it just reminded me, kind of circling back to Miss Marvel for a second. Did you notice at the end of Miss Marvel that they threw in a shawarma reference?
Yes.
So they're getting in the car, and she says, they're talking about where they want to go, and she says, let's go, I hear they have some good shawarma up here, or something like that. I think, I mean, obviously, a lot of what they do is intentional, and some of the stuff they do is just throwaway lines because they're giving fan service to something. But I think that line was intentional, that they were making a nod to the fact that they're almost like they were almost crowning her, not that she was the next Tony Stark, but just that she's the next character that's gonna carry a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if they use her storyline and her, because I mean that was right after the mutant comment.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if that was a nod to like her storyline. This character, this actress is going to carry a lot of stuff from here on out. Like even if that's not the direction they're going, they clearly have high hopes for her.
Yeah.
And I thought she was phenomenal, even as just as an actress. Forget about the character, but like she did a great job.
Yeah.
Right down to her little smirk in the mirror when she's wearing the
Oh, I
costume
know.
at the end of the series. That is directly from the comics, and you know she practiced in the mirror to get that right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It was fantastic. It was great. Loved it.
Yeah. And I do just want to quickly touch on Ironheart again. Have you watched the Black Panther Wakanda Forever trailer?
Oh, yeah.
Did you notice that she was in it?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Like, literally, she was there cutting a heart out of
hammering out a heart.
Like,
yep.
Yeah, from iron. And I was like, okay, this is happening. Oh, wow.
Yep.
And if the whole hologram Tony thing happens, I will cry multiple times.
She was. Did you notice? There's another shot of her where she's with Shuri in Shuri's lab, and
yes,
she's given her the high five like T'Challa did with Shuri in the first movie.
Yeah.
Yep. It's kind of a little throwback.
Like, this film is going to be tough to watch.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really good. I thought, I mean, just watching the trailer, I thought, I mean, forget about how emotional it's going to be just because Chadwick Boseman's not in it, and they're talking about his death, but like, it looked visually amazing.
Oh yeah,
it looked fantastic, and I'm excited to see what Marvel does with their version of Aquaman. Like, how much?
Well, you mean Namor?
How much better? How much better are the underwater scenes going to be?
Oh, I hope much better.
You know that there's no way they're putting this out without making sure that they kind of thumb their nose at DC when they do this.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's no way. You know that pressure's there because DC actually did a good job with those underwater scenes. They were not bad.
No, but they could have been better, and I think that's what Marvel are going to aim for.
Yeah. I mean, and as much as DC had some good stuff to share at their panel, I mean, it was like Marvel went, here, hold my beer. Like,
oh, absolutely.
Like, let me show you how it's done.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But
unbelievable.
What's so jarring is that that's going to be the end of Phase 4. Like, what?
And they still have not, and I think they're going to do it at D23. They still have not, they haven't really touched on mutants. They haven't talked about Deadpool. There's several other things that some of the series and stuff that they did not even talk about that I think they're going to introduce at the Disney convention.
Yeah, because as we know at the moment, Phase 6, is just Fantastic Four and the Avengers films. No way. Nope, I refuse to believe that's it.
They're not going to release some of that stuff yet because
no.
I have a feeling that some of the names of those movies are going to give away too much.
Yeah. But the point is, we can both refuse that's all that Phase 6 is going to be.
Oh, yeah, no, not at all.
No. Although, it's like I'm not going to lie, the next 2-3 years are going to be absolutely breakneck for Marvel.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's going to be crazy, man. Next year's going to be a good year.
Oh, yes. But what I'm really, really excited about is the fact that a few weeks ago, Kevin Feige had a massive vacation for a ton of the high-up Marvel guys to discuss the next 10 years of MCU.
Uh-huh.
That will mean the MCU for 19 years at that point.
Yeah, they haven't. I mean, and they haven't even. I mean, you think about in 2025, they will have just tapped the beginning of the Fantastic Four and have just tapped the X-Men.
Yeah. Sorry, needs to make a slight correction there. 24 years of the MCU.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy, man. And it's going to and they haven't hit all of their characters yet, and they haven't even hit all of their staple characters yet.
No, not really. There's still loads left, like the X-Men, like Fantastic Four.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the Defenders.
Yep.
Because they're coming back with Daredevil.
Doctor Doom, and some of those other guys.
Yeah.
And that's going to be, I think that's going to be phase 7, phase 8.
I reckon we'll get up to, I think it'll all finish phase 10.
It'll be interesting to see how I wonder if they have an end game in mind where they end the whole thing, where they can reboot it if they want to, or where they can say, hey, we're done with these stories and we're going to tell new ones, or we're going to reboot it, or we're going to dive back into the multiverse where we can still keep our legacy stories intact, but we can tell new stories. Like, they've got a plan for it, if for no other reason than that you can rewrite the same character over and over and over in a comic book, but the longevity of a human being is such that you're not going to be able to keep using the same characters. You're going to have to explain it somehow. So you either have to explain it and tell new stories in like a multiverse setting, or you have to give some explanation that allows you to reboot it.
Yeah.
With the same, a Tony Stark that is, hey, we're just going to restart the whole thing. Like, who knows? Who knows?
Like, all I'm going to say is, I think the end all be all will be Galactus.
Oh, yeah. That'd be cool.
The man can literally eat planets, so.
Well, Galactus, Apocalypse.
Yeah. Apocalypse could factor in, too.
Mm-hmm. You have characters that they haven't even begun to sniff at.
No. That is really exciting, because, like, we've had 15 years of this already, pretty much. And we've barely scratched the surface.
Well, the penultimate, and I don't know if they would ever do it, but the penultimate, I mean, not the penultimate, because that's your second to end, but the apex of all of this would probably, I mean, I was trying to think what could beat any of it and be some kind of like, okay, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna end the universe, and then we'll do something cataclysmic so we can reboot it and do our own thing. Would be some kind of Marvel DC crossover movie.
Yes.
But DC is going to have to get their act together before Marvel even entertains
that plan.
Working with DC at all, because they haven't proven that they can do that yet.
Well, about that, would you like some information from 2 years ago that could actually help with that? Right. Roxanne, don't worry, this will be over soon.
No, don't worry, I'm happy listening to all this.
Right. Okay. The week before the UK went into its first lockdown in 2020, there were 2 comics released. One from DC, one from Marvel. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The Marvel one was Thor issue 2. And DC was the finale of the Doomsday Clock arc. I don't know how familiar you are with the Doomsday Clock.
Yeah.
Me, not so much. Okay, right. I'll start off with Thor one, because this was the most on the nose. The first panel of the comic was a city skyline with a newspaper building front and center with a red and blue streak flying past. Now, the name of this newspaper building was actually shown front and center.
Oh, is it the Daily Planet? Are you about to throw Daily Planet at me?
Yes, it was. And then the final panel of the comic was the Black Winter wiping out the multiverse. And we saw a universe being wiped out, but protected by, and I'm literally quoting here, protected by a league of gods. And there were 6 of them, and they kind of named them. One was the god of the sun, represented by, yet again, red and blue streak. A god of the night, represented by a black streak. A goddess of strength, represented by a red, blue, and gold streak. A god of the sea, represented by green and orange. A god of speed, represented by red and yellow. And a god of emerald light, represented by green.
Nice.
And that was in Thor.
I think if DC could get their act together with their universe,
the movies,
then it would be something that I think. I mean, there's probably some not wish list things, but like, how do we end this? What do we do? Who do we involve? Do we, those kind of things that could be really, really cool.
Yeah. But that DC comic released in the same week was a bit more tongue-in-cheek. It was a lot more tongue-in-cheek. For example, there was one panel of the comic, Booster Gold and his robot companion.
Yeah.
Booster Gold had just come back from the multiverse, and his companion said something really stupid, don't remember what, but he said, "I would call you Jarvis, but this is the wrong universe." Boom! And then at the end of the comic, I don't know why, but this one thing stuck in my head. They did like a timeline of future events. And September 2032, I don't know why this one stuck in my head, but probably because it's so epic. Superman will be thrown into a brawl with the God of Thunder himself and a green behemoth. Superman versus Thor and the Hulk.
That would be interesting.
Roll on September 2032. So, I'm not going to lie, they could be planting the seeds now for this.
Yeah, like I said, I'm curious to see. Eventually, you have to ask the question: how can they outdo themselves, and or how is it going to end, or is it and if it's not going to end, how do they explain
how it isn't going to end?
How do they explain that it's not going to end? Yeah. So,
also,
but so far, again, I'm trusting in Kevin Feige and the people around him. I'm trusting in, and I'm enjoying the stories, and I'm enjoying what they're doing, and I'm gonna keep watching them and enjoying it because it's fun, man. It's a lot of fun, and the stories are good and they're quality. They're not packaging something and spitting it out and going, "Here, take this." They really, really care about everything they make, and it shows.
Yeah. Also, Roxanne, I've just realised.
Yep.
With that whole Marvel DC crossover, our Super Mega Ultra multiverse crossover could be a massive cease and desist waiting to happen. Oh, God.
That would be funny.
It would be.
Yeah. Maybe we should hold off on that for a while, perhaps.
Either that or you finish yours first before they finish theirs.
No doubt they've probably got it. Oh, no, in Marvel, they've probably got it very much. Ooh.
Yes, but publishing it, on the other hand.
Fair point. Although that could be a cease and desist, and we'll sort that out at some point. It's also occurred to me that the episode 100 time frame I've given myself is going to be difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could very well need to be pushed back, couldn't it?
Just a bit.
Yeah.
So are we setting a date to do this after She-Hulk finishes?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, we could be getting. Well, you could do a couple more visits because unlike everything else, the next film isn't coming out straight after She-Hulk ends.
Yep.
There's like a 2-month gap. Because I know She-Hulk will probably end around the end of September.
Mm-hmm. And then
roughly.
there's a month.
Then there's Black Panther, which comes out on the 11th of November, which is probably not the best date for the UK. Because it is our World War II/World War I Remembrance Day.
Yeah, we do. We have Veterans Day as well, and it'll be it'll be right around then. But over here, people take trips that weekend. They go to the movies. We have the day off, and so that's over here. That's theater wise. That's actually not a bad weekend.
For us, we don't have the day off. We just have we have a minute's silence.
Yeah.
So it may not be the best of days, but we'll see how that pans out. But yeah, we could definitely do at least 2 more of these this year because, like I said, there's a huge gap between the end of She-Hulk and the end and Black Panther, which also just coming off something me and Roxanne were talking about yesterday. Why are they kind of bunching them together? If they literally space all these shows out, they could have something coming out every week. Because Star Wars and Marvel are starting to halfway through a Star Wars show, a Marvel one's starting, or halfway through a Marvel show, the Star Wars one's starting. If you space them out, you can have something coming out every single week.
Yeah, I think they'll get there eventually. I think right now they're still having COVID issues, and they're trying to get everything back on timelines.
Yeah, I will admit, COVID, I think, will probably become a lot less of a problem next year.
Yeah.
I'm going to say from around, next summer, the COVID thing will probably be a lot less of an issue in terms of release times. I hope.
Yeah, it looks like they're starting to iron that stuff out a little better.
Yeah. Anyway, should we wrap this one up?
Sure, man. Let's go for it. I got some places I got to be here soon, but yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you all for coming to this stream. Thank you, Rodney, for joining us. Thank you, Roxanne, for being here, as always. So, if you've been watching here on stereo, if you have, thank you. Please give me a follow here at Astounding Cameron. And while you're here as well, follow Rodney and Roxanne. You can see their profiles literally on the screen. Or if you're watching instead on YouTube, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. The sub button will be just below the video title. And speaking of the video title, if you click that, you'll see the description in which my social media will be in my link tree, as well as Roxanne's YouTube and her website, as well as Frost's Instagram and his YouTube, as well as Rodney's YouTube, because I'm putting that in there because he's here in this video. Is there anything else you want promoting, Rodney?
No, man. Just this will end up being on my YouTube as well. So like and subscribe.
Of course.
And then, as I say in most of my videos, share this sucker all across the multiverse, and we'll do it again when the next one drops.
Okay, I like that. That's cool.
But and this time, the next time we do one of these, Roxanne, you'll have watched some things on Disney Plus because Cameron's going to get you hooked up.
Yeah, I will make sure to watch as many as possible, and probably the next thing that comes out as well.
Yeah,
you get to binge some things. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, Roxanne. I might set up your account right after we finish.
Yes, I'm super excited for Roxanne.
At least I know if I need a topic for my degree this year, I've got all this to start going off of.
And with all of that, guys, I will see you tomorrow with the AstoundCast episode 53 part 2, and see you all next weekend with another stream. But do we have a fun fact from Roxanne?
We do. A random fact I ended up finding was in one of the Marvel comics, they ended up publishing an artist resignation letter. So David Cockrum, Marvel artist, resigned from Marvel in 1979. But in one of the Iron Man comics, they actually published his resignation letter in there.
Wow.
Very cool.
Okay, amazing fact, and I love that you kept it on theme.
I'm going to have to go searching for that now. I'm curious.
Oh, me too. Right, and with that absolutely iconic fact, guys, bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Good to see you. Good to talk to you.
Bye. Woo.
Bye.
See ya.